Welcome back, YouTube pipe smokers. Mutton Chop Piper here. Today's video is entitled Blending Your Own Tobacco. It's not as easy as you think. So today's video is primarily for beginners and intermediate pipe smokers. Now today what we're going to be talking about is we're going to be talking about blenders and blending your own pipe tobacco. Now in my last video I mentioned a video that I've done in the past. It's one about the base tobaccos and condiment tobaccos. What they taste like, how they affect a blend of tobacco that you may already have. So the first thing we want to look at is if you're wanting to blend your own tobacco is we have to look at the base tobaccos. Now the base tobaccos are pretty much Virginias, which would be yellow or red, burley, and possibly Oriental. I would think that Oriental is going to be more into the condiment realm, but you could use it as a base tobacco. And you could also use stoved Virginia. Stoved Virginia has been heated and pressed to give it more of a robust taste. And then we're going to look at also the condiment tobaccos. But first let's take a look at the base ones. Let's talk about Virginias first. Now Virginia tobacco is used as a base because it's sugar based and it adds a lot of sweetness to the blend. Now Virginia also has its own taste. It has a taste of bread or some notes of leather and other taste. Depending on how much you use will determine how much of that taste comes through. So if you use quite a bit, then a lot of that Virginia taste will come through. If you use just a little, then it'll be more in the back seat. So again, if you use Virginia as your base, then you're going to be looking at adding some sweetness to the blend. Now let's take a look at condiment tobaccos. Now condiment tobaccos are going to be your Latakia, your Perique, and your Orientals. They're more of a condiment, I think. And why would you think they would be called condiment tobaccos? It's the same thing as if you had a meal. Let's say you had some kind of a chicken meal, and there's several spices that you can add to that chicken to enhance the taste or change the taste. So what if you took that meal and you took a whole thing of salt and just coated the chicken with salt? The first thing that you're going to taste when you put that in your mouth is salt. That's the same thing with condiment components to tobacco. Perique and Latakia are so robust that if you put too much in the blend, that's all you're going to taste. So when you're creating a blend, you need to tread very lightly when you use these condiment tobaccos. So if you're looking into possibly creating your own blend, I don't have a lot of experience with it, but I've talked to other people that do, and one of the things they always mention having is what's called a postal scale. So it's a little scale that's very sensitive. Now my suggestion is this: if you decide that you want to try to make your own blend, then you need to make a small batch of that blend, maybe 1 ounce of it, and just get that scale and measure out different amounts of the tobaccos you want to use. Virginia, Perique, and Latakia, let's say. Write down the amount you use and try the tobacco. If you try and you go, oh man, this is no good, this is too much Latakia, go back and reduce the Latakia. Then try it again. Oh man, there's too much Perique. Go back and try it again. You know what? I'm not getting a lot of sweetness out of this tobacco. I need to add more Virginia. Once you have it down perfect, you can take what you've written down as the amount that you've used from what the scale has told you, and multiply that, and then make a larger batch. If you take a pound of tobacco and you put different things in it, and the first bowl you taste is something that you absolutely cannot smoke, it's unsmokable, then you have wasted money and wasted tobacco. Now, I wanted to go over personal taste as well. Each of us have our own taste. So, to give you an example, my wife loves sauerkraut. I hate sauerkraut. I just don't like it at all. So our taste palettes are completely different. That's why it's really difficult to recommend a certain tobacco, because my taste palette may be different than yours. So everything I recommend to you, you may go, man, what's wrong with you? I hate every tobacco that you've recommended. Then you know that our taste palettes are different. So if you create a blend of tobacco and you share it with your friends, or you sell it to your friends, or you gift it to your friends, and they come back and say, you know, man, I don't know, I don't really like that blend. You're like, what? How dare you? That's the best blend that's ever been produced. Understand that each person has a different taste profile, and what you may like, they may not. Also, I wanted to talk to you about one of my favorite professional blenders, professional tobacco blenders. His name is Joe Langford, and he works for Seattle Pipe Club. Several of his blends are famous. Plum Pudding for one, Mississippi River. There is several that he has made that are just absolutely wonderful. The newest one that he's come up with is one of my favorites now. It's called Seattle Pipe Club's Hood Canal. Now, the reason I bring this up is I want to talk to you about the different blend components he uses in this blend and go from there. So, Seattle Pipe Club's Hood Canal. Abundant Balkan mixture. So you know it's probably, probably Oriental forward. Here are the ingredients. Mixture of Latakia, Turkish Orientals, Luxury Burleys, and Perique. So let's go through that again. Latakia, Turkish Orientals, Luxury Burleys, and Perique. That's 4 blend type tobaccos that he had to experiment with. Little here, little there. Maybe took him months, maybe took him years. Maybe took him a day, I don't know. But he got it to the point where a lot of people enjoyed the taste. Now, Hood Canal is a lighter, in my opinion, a lighter blend of plum pudding. It's like it's the same relationship between Dunhill's Nightcap and early morning pipe. Early morning pipe is a light English. Nightcap is a heavier, more robust English. So it's the same thing with the Hood Canal. Hood Canal is a lighter version of plum pudding. It's lighter, where plum pudding is a little bit more heavy. But the reason I bring it up is he's taken 4 different blend components and blended them together to come up with a very delicious blend of pipe tobacco. So that's the challenge for you if you're planning on blending tobacco. Now, the last thing I want to mention is a blend of tobacco that I was turned on to by one of our Pipe Club members. He sent me a post one time and said, hey, I've got this tobacco I think you really like. Can I send you a sample? And I said, sure. He did, and I smoked it, and I thought it was absolutely wonderful. And I said, well, would you mind giving me the recipe so that I could blend some on my own? He said yes, but he said, you know, I'd rather you not share it with anybody, so I haven't till now. But the reason I'm sharing it with you now is because one of the components is no longer available. So there's no harm in anybody creating this blend on their own. So the reason I mention this is that the components that are involved are so unusual that I can't believe that combining them have given the taste that it does. So one of the blend components is an aromatic. Now, we didn't talk about introducing aromatics into a blend type, but you can. So the aromatic I'm talking about is called raspberry cream. And then the other blend component is just for Hims shortcut to mushrooms. Now, the shortcut to mushrooms is no longer produced, so you can't recreate this blend. That's why I've only got this much left. And this is like gold to me. I only smoke it on special occasions because it's absolutely wonderful. Now, the reason I mention that is because raspberry cream is an aromatic. Shortcut to mushrooms is a English blend. So once they're combined, it tastes like honey. I know, I freaked out too. I'm like, I don't understand how these two combined change the taste so much to where now I get an overwhelming taste of honey. So they never had a name for it, so I named it for myself, and I call it Beekeeper because it's just I don't hardly taste the raspberry at all. I taste more honey. It's sort of like an English honey blend, and it is really fantastic. I just hate the fact that I can't get the tobaccos to blend it anymore. But that's my point. The most wildest two different combinations of tobacco can be blended to give you an absolutely wonderful blend of tobacco to smoke. Well, that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned something. Until my next video, I want to wish you and your family happy piping.